You're listening to Comic Reflections, episode 157. I'm your host, Nicholas Prom.
I'm Jeff Barnhart, ambulatory totem pole.
Okay. Comic Reflections is brought to you by Rhymes with Geek. You can check out our show, plus many other cool podcasts like the all-new Anti-Fanboy, Feed It Comics, and Super Podcasto Magnifico at rhymeswithgeek.com. Comic Reflections is also available on backissueheroes.com, the home of classic comics on the web. And if you enjoyed this program, please subscribe to us on either iTunes or Stitcher.
Okay.
So, the first comic we're going to talk about today is Weird Wonder Tales number 13. And this is a reprint book. And the lead story is called Return of the Totem. It's a reprint from Strange Tales number 75. This was written by Stan Lee with beautiful art by Steve Ditko. And it's a sequel to an earlier story, which I've read many times.
You have?
I have. It's The Totem Walks, something to that effect. Mm-hmm. I had another reprint book as a kid, and I read that story numerous times. We get a recap in the beginning, so we're not totally lost.
Right.
I feel like that story had more of an impact than this one, but it's kind of odd. Usually these monster stories are one and dones. You know, they don't usually get a sequel, but there's a couple examples where they do. Mm-hmm. So Groot, the tree monster, obviously came back in a big way, and the brain was another one. Yeah. Although the brain was like a head. But that had, I think, 2 or 3 stories. But anyway.
Yeah. I like the monster ones usually.
They're
okay.
Fun. Yeah.
What's the one with the weirdest name ever? Is Biff Bamboo?
Timbu Ba?
No. It was a
Fin Fang Foom?
Yeah.
Well, there's Timbu Ba is another one too.
Yeah.
But yeah, Fin Fang Foom, that's a classic. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So
I'd like to see the return. That'd be a great movie.
The Return of Fin Fang Foom.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. Then he became kind of an Iron Man villain. Kind of. He became an Iron Man villain.
Wow.
Yeah. So Marvel has returned and mined their period of doing giant monster stuff for future stories, which is cool.
Yeah. I guess DC has as well. So
yeah.
We're good and ill, I think. So.
Yeah. But let's talk about this. This is fun.
Yeah. Beautifully drawn by Steve Ditko. Just wonderful. Recap the last story. With
Escaped convicts held a native village hostage, and the chief, because these guys were abusing them, cast a magic spell or whatever, and their totem pole became alive and hunted them down and chased them back to prison.
Mm-hmm.
And then got revenge on them.
Yeah. So, to the present day, the totem is going crazy, and so it destroys the Indian village. So the Indian, here is this old wise Indian, as in last episode, and the townspeople laugh at him. Well, they stop laughing quick when the totem comes and kills them.
Yeah.
How does it move? Does it tilt back and forth, go forward?
I think so.
Because it goes.
Or there's magic and stuff in it, so
Well, then
that can be the answer. That can be the answer for everything.
Yeah.
So.
Let's see. No one believes it though. So the old Indian chief says, "Oh, I'll fix them. I'll make this potion and destroy it." And so the totem is attacking these townspeople at a picnic. Mm-hmm. And they're about to die, and the Indian confronts the monster, throws the potion to the monster's mouth, and kills it, and dies in the process.
Right.
Cool scene of the totem floating down the river.
Yeah.
It's kind of sad. So.
Yeah.
Not a bad story. Beautifully drawn.
Oh yeah, Ditko, one of the all-time greats.
Yeah. Not such a great artist, but just joking.
What?
Jack Kirby, he died 21 years ago this week, right?
That's right. He illustrated this next story we'll read. It's called Taboo, the Thing from the Murky Swamp. And let's see, this is also from Strange Tales number 75. Sounds like a great issue. So this was either written by either Stan Lee or Larry Lieber. They were unsure. And yes, penciled by Jack Kirby and inked by Dick Ayers.
Mm-hmm. I just say art.
Yeah.
By both of them.
Yeah. And Dick Ayers is the chief inker for a lot of Kirby's monster work.
Mm-hmm.
Dick Ayers, his other claim to fame is doing a lot of westerns, which we'll talk about some today.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah.
Okay, our hero, Louis Conrad, is going to South America to...
Joseph Conrad?
Yeah. Ooh, I did not catch that. Yeah, it's a Heart of Darkness, all right.
Yeah.
So, he has the Indian guys and all this. We've seen this 1,000 times before.
Mm-hmm.
And the Indian guys tell them not to go, or the native guys, excuse me, not to go into the swamp. And, of course, he does. So, if a native guy tells me not to go somewhere, I ain't going there. And
how often do you interact with native guys?
all the time.
Oh, okay.
So, yeah.
Man, on all your adventures.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay, so our hero goes into the swamp and he sees an alligator or crocodile. Oh, alligator! It'd be a crocodile in South America.
Yeah.
And he sees a big old thing of mud coming up and killing the alligator. And it is Taboo, the living mud man. So
it's pretty cool looking.
Yeah.
Does Kirby ever draw a lame monster? Have you ever seen one that was like, nah, this sucks?
I have seen a bad Kirby is better than most people's good.
Yeah.
So, I've seen stuff that was, the idea of the monster was stupid. I don't think the Totem monster, well, I didn't read the original, but the Totem monster, I'm just not afraid of totem poles.
Right.
Although, they are kind of creepy looking now.
Yeah. I mean, it was a good idea.
Yeah.
So
the totem is not, excuse me, Taboo is not a just a mindless monster. He's a space alien.
Of course.
So he has found himself in the swamp and his spaceship's destroyed. So he asked, is it Conrad?
Yeah.
To go back and get all the scientific information he can find that mankind has so he can make a spaceship and escape. So
humanity unites themselves in this cause to help this alien get back home, which is the most far-fetched thing in the comic.
Bingo. Yeah.
Like,
and no one says, "Oh, come on," or something like that.
Yeah.
So.
But it's a nice idea.
Mm-hmm.
But no way in the world would that happen. So.
No. Yeah, we see France and England. We see the UN type people, the guy from India, and the goatee must be Slavic. I don't know. So, all right, so they get all the stuff there. They give it to Taboo, and then in a big old, let's see,
he's monologuing.
Yeah, he monologues. I'm not sure. They just give it like I guess it's a big computer or something like that.
Yeah.
So, and Taboo is monologuing, stupid Earthlings, now have all your information, now we can invade your country. I will take it to my planet and we'll come back and conquer you.
But they put a bomb in it, so as soon as he gets in outer space, he explodes and dies.
And a hydrogen bomb.
Yeah. So, humanity united to do something kind of messed up. I mean, it saved the world and everything, but...
Well, no.
They're united in suspicion.
Yeah. They would not... They put it in there as a safeguard.
Right.
And if he had been a...
benevolent force.
Yeah, they would not have blown it up.
Okay.
So, that's pretty dang smart.
Yeah, it's a cool idea. And this is good science fiction.
Yeah.
It's fun science fiction, anyway.
It was cool.
Yeah.
All right.
The next story we have is The Great Disappointment.
Yeah.
And this was... this is from a reprint from Journey into Unknown Worlds, number 17. It was written by Stan Lee, with art by Russ Heath.
All right, The Great Disappointment. It was kind of a disappointment. That wasn't a great disappointment. It was just a minor disappointment. It was okay. All right.
Commies.
Evil commies are...
Is there any other kind?
Nope.
Okay.
They're firing off a rocket to the moon.
Yeah, the moon.
They invented faster than light travel. I'm not sure why they had to put that in there.
I don't know.
We didn't need fast and light travel to land on the moon.
It's a good science fiction thing.
Yeah. No, yeah, it sounds cool, but...
Again,
Okay.
it's a comic book.
Yeah.
Traveling faster than the speed of light? Neato! You know, okay?
Yeah.
Commies on the moon? Wow! Gee whiz!
Okay.
Okay.
So the guy who invented the rocket and the fast and light travel is on the ship, and he's a jerk. So he beats up his underlings, and it's like a commie, huh?
Yeah.
So they land on the moon. What's all these craters for? And
Like it couldn't have been the tiny space rocks hit the moon a bunch of times.
yeah, but no, that's silly talk. So people are talking about it. There's a great Soviet joke, and it said, "Do you suppose there is life on the moon, comrade? If they do, I hope it's communist, or else we'll end up in another Cold War there too." So,
Wow.
that was actually funny. He gets shot in the back because he said that.
So.
Okay, so they're on the moon. The Americans find out about it, but we're not very concerned. Why? Because as we see the commies on the moon, he has a rifle, and it's a regular rifle, and they're arguing about it, and the bad guy is beating up everybody, and all of a sudden they start sinking down. The moon is a living creature, and it sucks up life and leaves craters. So that's how the craters were formed.
Right.
So those big craters mean, I guess, that we can see from here, are where live creatures went into it.
I don't know, man.
Yeah.
But it's pretty funny no matter what.
Yeah. It was enjoyable. So.
Yeah. So, the next comic we've got to talk about, that's the end of that issue, is Western Outlaws #6. And this is early. This is in the 50s when Marvel was Atlas Comics. And the lead story is called War. With art by Paul Reinman. I don't think I have any writing credits for this whole issue.
Oh, okay.
But
yeah.
Paul Reinman, he's notable from the Golden Age and pretty nice art.
Yeah, not bad. Okay, these evil Yankees. Is there any other kind?
Hey!
No, just kidding.
Jeff's from North Carolina, so he likes to say things like that.
I'm just kidding. Most Yankees are okay. All right, well, this Yankee he's a cattle man, so he hates these rebel farmers, so he drives them off, shoots them, and burns down their buildings. And finally we have one couple who's still left, and they're not leaving out, so they're going to take care of them. So the guy had been in the rebel army. He takes down his gun, starts shooting back at them. They burn him out. And all of a sudden, they're saved by U.S. cavalry.
Yay! And they're like, hey, man, the war is over. Don't be a jerk.
Right. That was actually not a bad little story.
Yeah.
And, the stereotype of the trope, I guess, of this cavalry coming to the rescue was started supposedly in the movie Stagecoach, 1939. So
I've only seen the 80s remake, the one that has Waylon Jennings and Willie Nelson, Johnny Cash, which is awesome.
Yeah. The first one's really cool, too.
Yeah. I'd like to see it sometime.
It's the first adult, as a grown-up.
Right.
It's for grown-ups. And it has grown-ups.
Oh, Western.
Yeah, for Westerns. And so it's pretty well done. It made John Ford really big and made John Wayne a star. So.
Yes. So this next song, you know the song, or this story, you know the song, right?
Right.
They say he ran away, not a charge was true. Branded, marked by coward shame.
What do you do with Branded? And you know you're a man. I love that song.
Yeah. So this story is called Branded. It has nothing to do with that show, but I had to do that.
I wonder if it does have something to do with the show. I don't know.
This is mid-50s, I think, so it might be before that show.
All right. Yeah, it might be.
So, but anyway, Branded. With art by Joe Sinnott, who, of course, inked most of Jack Kirby's issues on the Fantastic Four. So, yay, Joe Sinnott. And much of he continued to ink a lot of Fantastic Four even after Kirby. He's probably done more with that series than anyone ever. More issues on the Fantastic Four than anybody.
Oh, cool.
So,
yeah. Great little scene of the Monument Valley, which was discovered by John Ford. At least first used in the movies by John Ford.
Right.
You know, we had it's Roadrunner land.
Right. And well, I'm sure, before that movie, a lot of things are just filmed in Bronson Canyon.
Right.
Like where, and after that, many things are still filmed in Bronson Canyon. It's a good place to make movies, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
So, anyway.
All right. Interesting idea. Okay, cattle rustlers they own cattle themselves, but they rustle other people's cattle, and they brand it with a brand that changes the original brand to their brand.
Right.
CJ.
They find out they look at the brand of the person they stole the cattle from, and like, oh, here's a brand that's covered our thing, and we can just cover that up. It's very clever.
Mm-hmm.
And then they just steal all the cows.
Yeah. Yep, and what can you do? Hey, it's got our brand on it.
Yeah.
I don't think that would work in real life. And, of course, in the West, outlaw gangs wouldn't last too long going against townspeople, because when they did the Northridge, I think it's Northridge raid, and they got shot up all the crap.
Really?
When they tried to do that. So, but then, it's just a comic book. You should really just relax, right?
Yes.
MST3K.
Oh, I love that show.
Mm-hmm. Same here. Oh, okay. This Lionel Trains advertisement, Empire Builders, and there's these guys looking like billionaires, but they made a train set.
Yeah.
Miniature train. It's really cool, but who has the room?
Yeah, some people they really go crazy for the miniature train thing. My dad really wanted to get into that hobby, and then he went to a train show and he saw all these just really fat guys eating donuts and showing off their trains, and he's like, I don't want to be like that.
Oh, I'd be like that. But it's pretty cool. That's an interesting story, actually.
Yeah.
But let's see. So. They're going around. Okay, so the
rustlers are?
Yeah, the rustlers, and they can't be stopped. Everybody knows about them. They do this awful business again and again.
So the leader of the rustler gang, he's a real mean guy.
Mm-hmm. All right, so so this young man comes from back east, and he's part of the family, their last victim. So he follows them around, and he says, "Well, let me just get in a fight with you." Which, don't you think you'd just be shot?
Probably.
So they have a fight, and the bad guy picks up a
red hot brand
of an R.
Yeah.
Why would you have an R?
I don't know. Why not? It fits the story.
Right.
So anyway, in the fisticuffs or the fight that ensues with the good guy, the guy brands himself in the face with the R.
Yeah.
So he goes around forever with an R, so people know he's a rustler.
Yeah, that's okay. Poetic justice.
That's kind of an EC Comics kind of ending,
Mm-hmm.
Like the last panel's like, geez, guy with an R burned on his face.
Yeah, well, he deserved it.
I think this issue might be pre-code.
Oh.
People are getting shot.
True.
Not just shooting the gun out of their hand.
Yeah.
So
here's an ad for chewing gum. Reduce calories. Up to 5 pounds a week just by chewing gum.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. So the next story is called With Guns Slung Low. And with beautiful art by George Tuska, who was one of the greats in the Golden Age and kind of unfairly fell into disfavor as an artist in the Bronze Age. But
oh, well.
we've looked at some great Tuska Western and crime comics.
Mm-hmm.
And they're just beautiful stuff. So
yeah. There's some nice stuff here. Some of his faces I don't like as much, but they don't look, I don't know. I think they do clean cut or something. So, but well drawn though. So we have a Kid Brand, who's this kid who becomes an outlaw guy. Then he changes his name to Clay Brand, and he's wandering around the West looking for jobs to shoot people.
Mm-hmm.
And he's an outlaw. the head of the town, the last town he comes to, says, let's hire him to take care of the bad guys and then run the saloons out, and then I can take over.
Yeah.
So they talk about a lot of outlaws been made, marshals. Let's see, Kit Carson, I think, and a few others.
Yeah.
Just kind of cool. Let's see. So he comes and let's see, gets stopped by this girl who doesn't like murderers, but he takes a job. Yay! So he clears out some bad guys by shooting a chandelier over a bunch of guys, and
it falls
down. Works pretty good.
Yeah.
And so then he beats the crap out of the main good guy,
right?
Scare quotes around that, for trying to take over the town. And they said, "Well, why don't you be our marshal?" Then some guy says, "Hey, I heard you're really good at shooting. You want to try?" So Clay turns around and shoots that guy too. Okay. So it says, "Well, I can't stay around because I'm always being asked to go shoot somebody or something."
Right.
And I can't have a normal life because someone wants to see they're faster than me. And that's an interesting...
And we see this as a continual thing. You know, we've read a lot of Western comics on the show, and that's kind of a recurring thing. You know, somebody always want out to prove themselves by besting a known, gun or outlaw, and people getting tired of it.
Yeah, there's no historical evidence this ever happened of two guys on the street facing each other.
Sure, but it sure is. It's in like most Western movies. There's so many, I should say. But our next story is kind of interesting. It's called Half-Breed, and really nice art by Werner Roth. He's best known for a run on the X-Men in the 60s, post-Kirby, which I think we'll look at least one issue of that in the coming weeks.
Not bad. Okay, Stronghawk is a half-breed. His white father dies. His Indian mother dies after that of heartbreak. And he is shunned by the Indians, and he's shunned by the white men. So he's, a man without a country.
Word.
So he overhears a white guy talking to, what is this guy's name? Longhair, who's a bad Indian, who all he wants is money. So they want to start an Indian war.
Where they'll both profit by it by selling guns and stuff.
Yeah, which, I don't think that would happen. The Indian Affairs people were extremely corrupt.
Yes.
And they would sell guns and all that, but they weren't trying to start a war. They were just trying to make money and serve bad liquor and stuff like that.
We've read some stories where that was addressed as well. So, yeah.
That's a great movie, Fort Apache, that goes into that. But,
really?
John Wayne and Henry Fonda. Man, pretty dang good. Yeah. You can't go wrong with a John Ford movie. They're always worth watching.
Sure.
Okay, so Half-Breed.
He did The Grapes of Wrath, right?
Yes, he did.
Okay, so I know I've seen at least one. So yeah, terrific movie.
So Half-Breed overhears it, so he tries to stop the fight, but everyone hates him because he's half-breed. So the two groups, white man, red man, are coming together and going to kill each other. Half-Breed gets in front of them. The instigators shoot him, and by his sacrifice, they end the war. And they, I guess...
And then people change their mind and realize how awful they were.
Yeah. And they killed the instigators, and so the half-breed is Stronghawk is buried. Here lies Stronghawk, a man and brother to all men. Not a bad little story. I like this.
I liked it too. It was good. So I enjoyed these. So the next book we've got to talk about is Western Gunfighters #5, and it's our last issue we'll talk about today. But it's a big fat issue, so we've got some multiple stories. The lead story is The Time of the Gunhawk, and it's an original to this issue. Although there are a lot of reprints also as well. Len Wein wrote this. Dick Ayers did the pencils, and Frank Giacoya inked it. And the Gunhawk is a Western character, but he meets the Ghost Rider, the Western Ghost Rider, in this story. And so that's kind of cool.
This is I love when two people who are protagonists fight each other, maybe misunderstanding and all this stuff. It's always interesting. And
yeah. Well, it's a classic Marvel Comics trope.
Right.
So, yeah.
Yeah, and I like that, it goes along with the noble villain and who has nobility in him and all that stuff as well. They're not the person you're fighting is not evil. He's just either mistaken or he has a point of view, different words. But
giving characters layers and dimension, that's really good, and I think that's why Marvel Comics became such a favorite. DC, even though I love them, are pretty black and white with, I'm a good guy, and and this is bad. Bad guys want money, good guys want to, be noble or whatever. Or play, but then again, you read all those Weisinger books, Superman books, where people are playing pranks, Superman's being a jerk, things like that, but they're great. So, anyway. In a way, those are the best of the DC comics of the Silver Age.
Yeah, people having fun. You can go too far with understanding your enemy. Some people are just evil, and so I think last week we saw a Jordanian air pilot burned to death in a cage.
I didn't watch it, but I heard about it. That's awful.
Yeah.
So,
but but Gunhawk is a good guy. He's after
Ghost Rider.
Ghost Rider.
But who is also a good guy.
Yeah.
So and Ghost Rider doesn't want to do anything against Gunhawk either.
Ghost Rider doesn't want to be Ghost Rider anymore. He wants to put it up. And
and I think we talked about last time we read a Ghost Rider book. He's got throughout his long history in comics, he's had his name changed about 5 times. Ghost Rider, the Haunted Horseman, or different things like that. Knight Rider, but yeah.
With this talking horse kit.
Oh my gosh.
Wouldn't that be hilariously bad?
Yes, it would.
So Gunhawk, which is, I don't know what a Gunhawk is. I guess did his parents name him that?
Probably not.
Yeah. Okay, there's probably an origin story where he got the name.
Probably.
So he's really good. There's some bad guys who want them to meet. So that
Ghost Rider and Gunhawk will blow each other away.
Right. So they have a cool knife with a message on. I always like that. Ding, and it says, tomorrow midnight. In really well-drawn, fiery red letters.
Yeah, from the Ghost Rider. Like, we're going to fight at midnight tomorrow. Like, oh, crap. And so the Ghost Rider, in his secret identity, he knows about this. He's like, well, I can't not show up.
Why not? He wants to give it up anyway.
That is a good point, but we wouldn't have much of a comic book.
Yeah. So
he wants to give it up, but he knows he cannot he can't look away when evil is lurking and stuff.
Yeah, that's probably BS. He likes being the Ghost Rider.
Probably.
But supposedly it's taken over him or something.
It's taken over his life.
I think I got the impression that it was a psychological thing. He was
Wow, I didn't pick up on that, but I mean, it could be valid. But I like how he has the luminescent costume and stuff, and it's reversible, so he makes himself look partly invisible and ghostly. It's pretty neat.
Yeah. So they
in reality, a guy with a luminescent costume at night would be the first one to be shot.
Yeah, I'd shoot him.
Right?
It's just yeah, it looks pretty cool. I love it when his head and hands are coming out of the blackness.
Yeah.
That is just awesome looking.
Yeah. And plus, a cowboy superhero with a cloak, he looks cool. So.
Yeah. So, Gunhawk and Ghost Rider are facing off, and then they hear an explosion. What's up with that? The entire plot was to destroy the safes to get the bad guys get the money from the bank.
Right.
They used too much dynamite.
Yeah.
But it's kind of, yeah, I don't know. Couldn't they be more quieter? I don't know. It's sort of, hey, an explosion going off. Something's happening.
Right.
People go to see what happened in that explosion. And
Right.
so I think it was a dumb idea they had. They should have just waited until something happened with Gunhawk and Ghost Rider.
Right.
Because people will be there, oh, someone's dead. Let's look at his body. That's pretty interesting.
Right.
So Ghost Rider comes and he starts shooting guns out of people's hands. And that's about it. The sheriff of the town, I think we said before, really hates Ghost Rider. And, but nothing happens here. But, Gunhawk says, well, Ghost Rider's okay with me. He saved my life, so I'm getting out of here. So
Okay.
And so, man of nobility, I guess.
Yeah. So the backups, the next of several backups, this is a nice mix of new material and reprints. It's kind of one of those giant-sized issues. It's another Gunhawk story, and it's Gunhawk versus the Range Lord. And this was written by Alan Brodsky, probably related to Saul Brodsky, who I think was the production manager or something like that at Marvel. Werner Roth did the pencils, and Dick Ayers inked it, which is nice.
Oh, he's called Gunhawk because his Colt revolvers have a hawk in their handle.
Oh, okay.
So that's why.
No. Mystery solved.
Yeah, indeed. Sometimes I don't read the introduction. The little.
Oh, I try to always do it.
But sometimes I forget because usually it's he was bitten by a radioactive spider. I've already read it before, so I've got out of the habit of doing it.
Right. I think if it's like if that's the top caption on the of the opening splash page, yeah, it's okay of a lead story. But when it's a backup and it's something less familiar, it's always good to read it.
Yeah, I'm just out of the habit of doing that.
Right. So
okay, the Gunhawk versus the Range Lord.
Mm-hmm.
Have you already gone through the people?
Yeah, I did the credits.
Okay, thank you. I'm too busy thinking and not listening. So,
okay.
I'm sorry. All right, so Gunhawk is up against the Range Lord, and he's on his horse, and two guys approach him. You can't go here. It's a Range Lord's property. So he takes their guns and bops him on the head with it. It's pretty funny. Yay, Gunhawk.
Yeah.
All right, so one of the great Western tropes is Quakers.
Man.
Quakers don't believe in violence. And you ever seen they call Trinity Still Is My Name? Or it uses Quakers.
You gave me that movie. I haven't watched it yet.
Yeah, but pretty funny. Having to do with Quakers and bad guys. It's the Man with No Name Clint Eastwood movies that are done to comic form.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And everybody's filthy, and it's actually done in Italy anyway.
Oh, that's
Italian spaghetti comedy western.
Okay.
So,
these Quakers are trying to get driven off by the bad guys.
Yeah, they roll a huge boulder against their house.
It's the bad guys too.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
And then they set it on fire. Why the boulder needed to happen?
Yeah.
Was
you know how hard it is to. We try to take down. I had this job and a temporary job, and said, "Oh, take down that log cabin." I said, "Okay." Man, it was hard to do. Those things are built to last. All right. Really well drawn. It's kind of cool.
Yeah.
So the Quakers, they're still there. Let's see. They say, no, we're not moving. Gunhawk comes up, shoots the gun out of the bad guy's hand.
The bad guy offers to give him money to side with them, and the guy, Gunhawk, kicks the guy's hand full of silver dollars, and then shoots bullets through all the silver dollars.
My cousin can do that.
Really?
Mm-hmm. You can shoot a hole in the quarter, thrown in the air.
But Gunhawk shoots 5 of them.
Oh yeah, he's better.
Okay.
My cousin doesn't have a comic book.
Right.
What I was trying to say though, it's not impossible.
Right.
Yeah. Although doing 6,
Yeah.
no.
Yeah.
So, the Quaker,
If they
the
felt
husband likes Gunhawk, but his wife hates him.
Right.
So they said we're not going to fight. So let's see. So they stay there. Here comes this blonde-haired bad guy who looks like a blonde Charles Bronson.
He's creepy looking.
And he's got open chest, his shirt's open, and yeah, he's a mean guy. So they send him after these names, Gunhawk.
Man.
And
Characters have names, Jeff.
I know, it's hard to remember them. Jeez. All right, so Gunhawk shoots the gun out of this guy's hand.
Yeah.
And
Of course
it ruins his wrist. He can never be a gunfighter again.
And then we learn... Is that the end of the story just about?
Just about.
Okay.
It's a nice big battle. And find out that the woman's brother saved Gunhawk's life and was killed for it.
Oh, right. And that's why she didn't like him.
Yeah.
But Gunhawk saved the Quakers from the bad men.
Yeah, he shoots the saddle off and he shoots...
Which would never work. Without killing the horse.
Yeah.
But, oh well.
Oh, on that branded thing, it says branding doesn't hurt the cattle. It says, I don't know. I don't think it would hurt.
I think it would hurt. I mean, it definitely hurts them. It doesn't hurt the meat, but it's going to be painful for them.
Yeah, I want to eat branded. Although, that's a thing.
What?
Branding on people.
Yeah, no, I didn't know that.
I knew a guy, I think he was in a fraternity they did it. He had a
no
big
thanks.
V and it looked super scarred. I never asked him about it.
No thanks.
All right, this is nice. Renegades.
Yeah, the Renegades. And this story is called Deserters. Mike Friedrich wrote this, and with art by Tom Sutton, who I know you're a fan of.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why am I a fan of mine? Remind me.
I think you liked... I'm trying to remember what it was that he worked on that you liked. Maybe it was some Man-Thing art, or...
Maybe so.
I can't... Now I'm blanking. It's terrible. Yeah. But I remember you speaking up and saying you really liked it.
It's really well drawn, except for the kid, who's drawn like he's Quasimodo or something. He's really ugly.
Let's go through these characters, though. They're kind of a ragtag group of guys. They survived the Alamo.
Yeah. They're sent on a mission, but everyone thinks they deserted.
Right. Because they survived because they left the battle.
Mm-hmm.
So
it's Dude, a strong-willed, tight-lipped American. Is there any other kind? Carlos Ortez, his idealistic Californian friend. Little Flower, brawling French-Canadian ex-trapper. And a hot-headed orphan youth known by choice as the Kid.
Right.
Yeah. I didn't like the Kid, but I liked the rest of them. They're very interesting characters, and I'd love to read more about this. This is the only time I've ever read it.
Well, Western Gunfighters, this isn't the only issue of it, so, I mean, that exists, so I'm sure there are at least a few more Renegade stories.
Mm-hmm.
So
it's pretty cool. One of the things I did like about it was that they had, this is in the 1840s, there was no 6 guns, and they showed that.
Okay.
Because they used flintlock pistols here,
nice.
One single shot, and I was impressed by that, because I have seen that apparently people use revolvers from 1801 to 1901, but no, the Colt revolver came out in 1876. So before then, it was mostly single shots and expensive revolvers that didn't work too well.
Right.
They worked okay, I guess.
Okay.
All right. 3 of them, Carlos, Little Flower, and the Kid, go into a bar, and I guess Dude is doing something else. I forgot what he's doing. Oh, he's getting a shave. Oh, is it Carlos who's getting a shave? So, the Battle of San Jacinto just happened. The Renegades sent us into the victory over Santa Ana that gave Texas its independence. They were there. I guess there's a story there, but I don't know it.
Me either.
And the bar patrons think that, oh, hey, aren't you the deserters? And they start a fight, and it is glorious.
Yeah, barroom brawls, a classic trope of westerns, and this is really well done.
The best I've ever seen, I think.
It's very good.
Yeah. I mean, it's chock full of action.
Yeah.
And everybody's kicking butt and taking names.
Yeah.
And, yeah, the kid is kind of psychotic. Yeah, he's starting fights and... Yeah, here's the thing. There are 3 guys are after them. And the kid only has 2 pistols, and so he only has his 3 guys, so he can shoot 3 of them. So, which is cool.
Indiana Jones could do it.
Yeah, because Indiana Jones had a revolver. These guys had flintlock pistols.
Well, I remember when he used the 1 bullet and shot through 3 guys.
Yeah, and that was a joke and all that. People usually don't die that easy. But
nah.
In my experience of long experience of shooting people, yeah. No.
Okay.
So they're fighting, and they go back, they go out of town, and one of the guys has a book, and they laugh at each other. And it's pretty good banter and all that stuff.
Yeah.
So.
It's an interesting kind of group dynamic and stuff, so that's cool.
Carlos is he's the intelligent one. So, but and Little Flower is cool, the big French Canadian brute. So,
yeah.
I like those. I could read a lot more of those.
Yeah. So now we got some reprints, and there's some fun stuff here too. The next story is called Grey Wolf Strikes, and it's a reprint from Apache Kid #2 with art by Werner Roth.
Yeah, Grey Wolf Strikes. Man, Apache Kid should be called Half-Breed Kid because he's half white, half Indian, I think. Because he looks the whitest Indian you ever seen.
Yeah.
So it's sort of...
it's weird.
And he has his hair cut short.
Mm-hmm.
And, yeah, they didn't do their research on this.
They were probably just trying to write a comic book story for young children.
I should really just relax.
Yes.
But when they're accurate, it makes me happy.
Yeah.
And
when they're not, I'm like, oh well, it's just a comic.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You know, I could still enjoy it.
Oh yeah, I'm not going to say no. They didn't have. I can't like. Raiders of the Lost Ark didn't have that airplane at that time.
Right.
No, it's an enjoyable movie. So.
Right. So.
So the Comanches are trying to get with the Apaches to fight against the white man, and let's see. So Apache Kid say, "Hey, let's not do this." Okay, no. So was it Little Flower? What's her name?
I think so.
Yeah. So
that's Apache Kid's woman.
No, White Swan.
White Swan. That's right.
So White Swan is kidnapped. So they're gonna have a war. So Apache Kid says, "I'll fix this." He dresses up like a cowboy, and he gets captured. He escapes, and
he rescues her, right?
Right. And then he fights Grey Wolf. I think that's his name. And he's a bad guy. Is that his name?
Yeah.
Yeah, Grey Wolf.
And they fight with tomahawks and fists and feetses.
And in a pot of fire, coals.
Yeah.
Which Grey Wolf is about to throw on Apache Kid. Let's see. And Apache Kid throws a ball or something, a pebble, and smacks him in the face, and Grey Wolf drops the pot of coals over his face and dies.
Dang.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Man, that's a cool fight.
Yeah.
He stands, yay, I won.
Yeah.
Great.
And so at the end, it's one of those wah-wah endings because White Swan was bummed she got rescued by the honky, not by Apache Kid.
Yeah.
Even though it's the same guy.
Aloysius Care.
Yeah. There's a story. There's got to be some backstory behind this guy that I don't really know about.
All right.
So we got a story with the Black Mask in Meeting at Midnight. Now, this story is a reprint from Kid Colt, number 86. And interesting to note, pencils by Jack Kirby, as it's pretty obvious, but inked by George Klein, who, as you recall, I'm sure, was Kurt Swan's main inker in the Silver Age. Interesting to see these two together.
Yeah, nice
Klein does
color.
a nice job.
Yeah, nice. Yeah, showing a black figure or a dark blue against a dark blue sky, and he does it really well.
Yeah.
And the Black Mask is a cowboy. He wears a black mask and a black outfit. Due to comic books inking system, he's blue. So,
right.
Okay, so what happened? Let's see. Oh, someone's being blackmailed.
Mm-hmm.
So Black Mask hears about it, and see, and he shoots the guy and stops the blackmailing. So, and that's the end. That's about all that happened. So,
okay,
fairly well drawn. These a cool card. Rest easy. Your oppressor is no more. Your secret is safe. The guy being blackmailed went to prison. So,
okay. Because he had been to prison.
Yeah.
And he had reestablished himself, and he didn't want his new reputation tarnished.
Mm-hmm.
That's right. So the next story is about Wyatt Earp, Frontier Marshal.
Yeah, he really existed.
Yeah. This story is called Men Without Faces, and it's a reprint from Wyatt Earp, number 13, with art by Dick Ayers, who's just the king of the Westerns, I think.
Yeah. Western comics, anyway.
That's what I mean.
Yeah. Okay, so, Wyatt Earp's kicking butt.
As he does.
Yeah. Is he attacked by cougars?
Mm-hmm.
The animal kind, not the middle-aged woman kind.
I was waiting for that joke.
Yeah.
I was like, here it comes. So,
yeah.
It's all right.
All those poor high schools with their mascots as the cougars. So, yeah, I feel bad for them. Okay, so there's this group of masked men who are robbing cattle. And so everybody's upset about it, so people are leaving town, blah, blah, blah. So Wyatt Earp goes to find them, and he finds them, and it turns out they're the big cattle barons. So,
So it was all a trick. They were kind of getting together to kind of drive out the small timers.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, yeah. That's about it.
And then the last story in this issue, and for the episode, is about probably the most generic Western hero of all time. The Western Kid.
And his fighting pals, Whirlwind and Lightning.
Oh,
I'm not sure which one's a dog, which one's a horse.
It doesn't matter, but it's totally being Trigger and Bullet.
Yeah.
But even this story is untitled. But it's a reprint from Western Kid number 12 with art by John Romita.
Yeah.
It's so early in his career, you know. I mean, I think John Romita, Spider-Man.
Yeah.
And boy, it's just it's interesting to look at artists as their careers evolve and their style changes. And,
yeah. There's a gang holding up.
Yeah.
Stagecoaches. And so one of the gangs kind of like was saved by the Kid one time.
Mm-hmm.
So and everyone looks at it in suspicion. So the Kid starts fighting them, and the guy who was saved does not attack the Kid, and he turns good, and he goes off to do his time in jail. So,
okay.
But yeah, okay, it was pretty cool. Yeah. I guess we'll see you in the funny papers.